Alachua County is in the midst of its Discover 200 Bicentennial Celebration. We're celebrating the past, the present, and the future. A very near future event that we're very excited about is the World Masters Indoor Athletic Championship. Stephen Rodriguez is a Senior Vice President at RADDSports. He has over 30 years of experience in tourism, events, facilities, and amateur sports development, specializing in public-private partnerships and nonprofit management. He worked with the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sport, helping develop the Sunshine State Games, Florida Senior Games, and Florida's first Olympic specialty license plate, which still supports Olympic athletes. A University of Florida graduate, he managed the Florida Association of U.S. Track and Field before joining the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, overseeing youth sports, the Lou Groza Award, and major events like the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics Spring Championships. Stephen has served on numerous governing and advisory boards, including the National Congress of State Games and the National Senior Games Association, where he was awarded the Warren Blaney Lifetime Achievement Award and was named one of the 30 champions of the Games. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you.
I was going over your bio material, and I could have taken the whole 28 minutes telling your truly fascinating story and incredible depth of experience. We're so excited about the World Masters coming up, and I thought, if you don't mind, can we give those who are watching a little primer on the Sports and Events Center?
Absolutely.
Its evolution and then how we got to the World Masters?
Yeah, so if you recall, back in 2023, the Alachua County Sports and Events Center opened in May. But prior to that, there was a soft opening, and that's when the track was erected and for the first time and came over from Italy. And we dedicated the track to Jimmy Carnes. And after that, there was a very short track and field season, to try the track out, but also an important thing looking into the future is to make sure that we're running times on that track, which is very important when you're going out and seeking events. So during that short season, a lot of individuals came to Alachua County to see the track, this new track, the only one in the state of Florida. And during that time, we identified this opportunity that existed, that the World Masters Athletics was reopening a bid for their indoor championships for 2025. So after all partners and stakeholders getting together and understanding that this is exactly the type of event that we want to go after and why that center was built, we went through a bid process, and it was a very shortened bid process, and put together a great bid or proposal over a period of a month. And typically you would take a year doing that, and we got it together in a month and submitted it, and it was well received. Later that year in December, we had a site visit with WMA where many of their council members came to visit Alachua County, and we showed them the center and proposed other sites, and as well as the community as a whole. And they felt comfortable in our ability to be able to pull this off in a basically 1-year planning timeline. And they were really impressed with Alachua County and all that it has to offer. So that from there, that's history. We won the event, and we've been going through the planning process. And right now is a really exciting time in that process, right? Because we're kind of at the tail end of registration, which is a pretty complex, series of events that started in June. And right now we're in a validation process where all athletes have to be validated by their national federations. And we're very pleased with that outcome of how many individuals made a choice to come to Alachua County for the next World Masters Athletics Indoor Championships, and the first one ever in the 20-year history of that event here held in the United States.
And I want to talk a little bit about that aspect. You and Jolene Cacciatore from the Sports Commission were at a recent county commission meeting, And I can't let you get out of here without a chance to brag about some pretty significant milestones and records that were shattered.
Yeah.
We talk about records on the track. We've shattered some records with this event. So can you tell us about what you all shared at that meeting?
Absolutely. So the record that was shattered was, obviously we look at several different factors in terms of success in an event, and one of them's participation, which I think we fared well considering it's the first time in the United States over 3,700 participants have signed up and registered, and there may be.
What was the previous record?
That was 4,100. Yeah, so that one wasn't the record, but
right.
And then but the record we broke was the number of countries.
Right.
And we have 97 countries, and here's a top secret fact. We believe that there's 2 more countries that have just slid in, so I think we might be at 99. But either way, we broke the previous record of 89 countries, which was held by Poland, Turin, Poland. And that really shows an interesting aspect of how people relate to Alachua County and the state of Florida and the United States as a destination where we're able to get so much more of a reach and really give an opportunity to many countries that normally don't have that opportunity to travel to Worlds when it's across the world, right? So,
I want to backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an amazing kind of sequence of events. Alachua County, I should do a commercial for Alachua County here. We built the Sports and Events Center.
Absolutely.
Through a great public-private partnership with Svein Dirkle-Bolton and Celebration Point, and you work with RADDSports, the entity that Celebration Point uses to operate the center. But it was built as to, just try everything we could to bring major track and field events. We showed the video of the company in Italy that builds these tracks, and you mentioned the soft opening, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we discovered is this is a fast track.
It is a very fast track.
And athletes like fast tracks. So, all of that kind of came together, and then this opportunity came up. So, talk to me a little bit about the World Masters itself, because, we've been involved so long that it's also clear to us, but what is this event exactly, and what are the groups of people that run, and how does this fit into the world track and field scene?
Absolutely. So in the international world, Masters is considered anybody 35 and older. So and the age divisions for competition are broken up into 5-year age increments, and they end at 100 plus. So if you're 110, you're still in the 100 and plus.
Do we have any 100-year-olds?
Yes, we do. We have one that is 104 years old, and it is a gentleman from Thailand that really has experience running in Masters athletics, but only in Asia. So really, this is kind of his first time coming out. And again, it's what an honor that this gentleman, 104 years old, is going to make a trip across the world and made the United States, Alachua County, his choice to compete in a world championship.
And I'm sorry,
wonderful.
I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
Yeah, no,
that fascinated me.
Yeah, no, it's great, and you'll see that there are amazing stories out there, and there's a lot of individuals that have dedicated their lives, and despite their age, right, of improving and pushing the human body, and really taking seriously those achievements. And when you spend time with Masters athletes, yes, it's competitive, but the camaraderie and the socialization is just as important. These are people that they're sharing a common goal and they're sharing a common passion, and you will make lifelong friends. Many of these individuals talk all the time. It's a tightly knit community, and you'll learn fascinating stories. You'll find people that never ran track and field until later in their life. You'll find, and let's talk about women having opportunities. Many of these women are of age that they didn't have opportunities to compete in sports, period. And now they do, and you see that they've started later in life and have become passionate about it. And really, it's a celebration of human life and our abilities, and really pushing our dedication and passion, right? And so I'd invite anybody to come out, because these are great social people that are happy to share their stories, and so many different common stories, but very unique stories as well. So,
I want to acknowledge that there has been an enormous amount of work done here.
yeah.
It's happening now, but it's been fascinating to watch Svein's group, you, the county folks, going through the courtship process to try to convince those folks to come here. Stephen, did they make a decision that they wanted to do the games in the United States and then, let the competition begin, or did folks in the United States reach out to them and convince them to consider that, or how did that evolve?
Yeah, there was a number of things that were happening there in regards to the relationship with WMA, right? And I think there was certainly a desire to eventually come to the United States, and I think there were even previous bidders, right? But putting in a proposal and bidding and actually doing it are two different things, right? And I think that really what the WMA saw when they came here was a community that was willing to pull together, and all the entities plus more that you just named, they have come together. It's everyone is working in partnership to welcome the world here, and that committee that came saw that. They saw that everybody was excited and legitimately wanted these athletes and this event to be here and to do what needed to be done, right, to plan this and make it a success. And the other challenge too is, because of the timeline, we're planning something in about a year, right, that typically you have 4 years to plan. So that was one of our strategies in terms of when communicating with WMA, was showing that in this community we have the knowledge, we have the expertise, we have the talent, and we have the determination to make this event happen in a shortened timeline. And there's definitely that confidence that when they left, we can make it happen. So,
not only is it just a incredible event on its own merits, but it fits right into the kind of the plan for the Sports and Events Center, because part of the plan was economic development and creating business and filling up our hotels and restaurants and attractions. You mentioned about 3,700 athletes. How many people do you anticipate coming?
We would anticipate over 9,000 total visitors to be here over that week period of time. So that's a significant economic impact for our community, and I'll tell you that being in tourism, and particularly sport tourism, for a very long time, that's such an easy thing to point to quantify the value of what you're doing, right? And showing return on investment. But there's so many other benefits that come along with doing events like this. And you just think of the cultural aspect, that here's 97 different countries, individuals that come from those countries, coming to Alachua County, and that elevates us, in that international stage. It shows that we are a welcoming community, and that this is a safe place for individuals to come and participate and interact with each other and others. So I think that's always a hard thing to quantify, right? But we know it as people. We know the value. But yeah. So.
And, it doesn't hurt that it's going to generate a lot of business.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of sales tax, a lot of bed tax.
Absolutely.
And, and frankly, just a lot of income for our businesses. And that's the dual goal of a facility like this. So this is an indoor track facility, obviously. And I know there are some differences in the length of the track and all of those things. So can you break down the kind of events that are involved in indoor track championships like this? And I also know that there are, this event expands outside of the Sports and Event Center. So tell us about that.
No, absolutely. So the this event is called the World Masters Athletics Indoor Championships, which is a little bit deceiving, right? Because there are more events than just indoor. So indoor season is in the winter time, and it typically comes from, areas where it's not comfortable, it's too cold. Let's just say it. There's snow on the ground and ice, and you want to run indoors, right? So obviously an outdoor track is 400 meters. Having a 400-meter track inside is prohibitive, right? So the track is smaller. It's a 200-meter oval track, and the sprints distances are a little bit shorter. So instead of the 100, you have the 60. So you usually have a set of sprint lanes that are in the center of the track. You still have events like long jump and triple jump and high jump. Your throws are a little bit different. So you don't have long throws like discus and javelin and hammer indoors.
What could go wrong?
Yeah,
with a
exactly.
or a hammer indoors, Stephen?
Yeah, so instead you have weight throw and shot put and so forth. So what makes this event interesting is that it has all of the indoor events, but it also has outdoor events. And when we were going through the bid process, that was one of the difficult things, was identifying outdoor space where we can host all of the events that are offered. So we have 2 road races. One is a 10K running road race, and then the other is a 10K race walk. And those events will take place on the second weekend of competition, and right on the streets of Celebration Point, and a little bit over the bridge and into other areas back there. So, and then the long throws, which we don't do indoors, those are javelin, hammer, and discus. We're actually going to do those outdoors. And we also have a cross-country race that's 6 kilometers for all age divisions up to 70, and then anyone over 70, they run, actually the other way around. Everyone runs 8K, everyone over 70 runs 6K. So we didn't have those facilities in existence when we put this proposal in, right? So we had to work together and identify potential sites, and that through that process, that's where West End came in, that we're very excited about, not only as a competition facility for this, for this event, but the potential out there to be another great public space for our residents that are out west, right? So it is actually a perfect site. We couldn't ask for a better scenario for those events, and looking into the future, especially for cross country, we see a lot of tremendous potential for other events to be able to be held there. So
well, and just to fill in those who maybe weren't following that story, there was a long time where the residents that surrounded the old West End golf course were concerned about how that might be developed in the future. It was zoned recreational, and they didn't want high-intensity development there. Long story short is the county has purchased that property, and you're right, it's going to become a kind of a seminal county park for everyone in the county. But during this transition period, we're building the infrastructure to take care of the events that you talked about, and that infrastructure will remain and somehow be integrated into the park. And that was one of those serendipitous, perfect kind of things that happened, which, leads us all to believe this was meant to be.
It's nice to have a perfect storm, right?
It is one that goes in your direction. Okay, well, it's I know you're busy right now, leading up to March. I mean, it's right around the corner now, and I know that you are meeting with businesses, hotels, and restaurants and attractions to talk about how they can get involved. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Absolutely. So, there's opportunities really for everyone to be involved, whether it's businesses or residents. So I would say that first, that there's one of the things that we have created as part of this event is a traditional, what we call Athletes Village, which is a place for vendors, for area businesses to showcase, their business, but even nonprofits to come out and showcase what they're doing. Our attractions, and our parks. These are individuals that are coming here that traditionally, they don't just come here and compete and leave. They come here and they want to explore the community, right? And we want to help bring that community to them. So there's those opportunities that are natural for businesses to be able to showcase themselves and gain clientele. And then with residents, so this event is free to the public to watch. So we invite the community to come out and check it out. But also, an event of this magnitude requires a lot of volunteers, and we need volunteers of all ages and skill sets, and from all different backgrounds as well, right? So we have a lot of great volunteer opportunities, which can be found up on our website, which is wmaci2025.com, and anyone can get on and sign up and be part of this piece of history for Alachua County, right? So
I think at the commission meeting, you shared some information about what you were anticipating with hotel stays.
Yeah.
Can you share that?
Yeah, so right now we are looking at, on average, bookings within our block, which is kind of what we can see and control, are averaging 7-night stays. And then individuals that we can see where they're staying and how long they're here because of visa requests, because we have to provide visa support services. Those are averaging more like 12-night stays. So, you have quite a few individuals. We again expect over 9,000 to be here, and they're staying anywhere from 7 to 12 days, even though they may be competing 1 or 2 days during that period of time. So I think this will be a tremendous impact and opportunity for individuals to come in and infuse new dollars into our community, right? But also again to explore and really the key is that we don't want them coming back once. We want them coming back multiple times, and we talked about that a little bit in the commission meeting. Of we have individuals that already have come into town just to check things out ahead of the Worlds, and we hope that after they have such a good time, they're going to want to come back and visit again.
Have you convinced the World Masters to just forego all other sites and do it every 4 years in Alachua County?
We're close, yeah.
Hey, I know that there are some local athletes that are participating. Do you have information on Alachua County residents?
Yeah, so right now, as far as I know, and this may have changed over the last couple of days, but right now we have 17 residents of Alachua County that have signed up. So I don't know if that has changed much, but we're actually kind of surprised about that. We did not expect that many residents to sign up for the competitive side of events. We do have an open event that we're about to launch and promote, that after the competitive 10K, we're going to have a 5K for everyone to compete, and you're welcome to come out and compete.
Oh, that's my race.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to sign up.
All right. So
I'm hoping they'll pit me against, everyone over 100. That's the group I want to be.
That's good, yeah. But we have a great example of somebody that I guess technically is now a resident, but we have a 3-time Olympian that has signed up for both nationals that we're hosting this year and Worlds. And in preparation for that, and knowing that she would want to acclimate to our climate and run on our track during season and so forth, she and her husband actually moved here, and they have an apartment for 6 months, and they're residents now. So,
is Marty LaQuarrie running?
He's not, but Marty LaQuarrie has been very helpful and instrumental, and he's on our honorary committee. So yeah, Marty's definitely a legend. Yes.
Gosh, there's so much I'd like to talk about, but we're almost out of time. We'll have to have you back. You mentioned the other national that's coming to the Sports and Event Center.
Yeah.
How did you garner that?
So that was kind of part of this bid process that we had an agreement with USA Track and Field that if we were able to win the World Masters Athletics Indoor Championships, that we would also be able to host the USA Track and Field Indoor Masters Championships. So that event will be held just weeks before the Worlds. And will serve as a test event, for really we'll be testing a lot of mechanisms to see what works, what doesn't, and be able to adjust a couple of weeks ahead of time to make this flawless.
A dress rehearsal.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. We're down to almost the end, but are there any other? I know Jimmy Carnes is near and dear to your heart.
Yes, yeah.
How that has just happened, is that correct?
So yes, the Jimmy Carnes Invitational is always the season opener. Yep. And what an amazing event each year, but especially this year, just shattering records in participation. Well over 2,600 people competing. We had the most number of college teams, the most number of youth athletes, and that's hosted by the Gainesville Sports Commission, who's one of the great partners in making this happen. So we always look forward to that event, and really sets the tone for the rest of indoor track season.
Now, I don't want to give anything away, but I've been hearing stuff about the promenade at Celebration Point leading up to the Sports and Event Center and the medal ceremonies. Mm-hmm. And will there be an opening event?
There will. So opening ceremonies is March 22nd at 6 p.m. and that will be in the Alachua County Sports and Event Center. Again, free and open to the public. There'll be the traditional parade of athletes and lots of entertainment during that time to really welcome these athletes and get them ready for the next day, which is the first day of competition. But the entire Celebration Point area will be really part of the event. The Athletes Village will be right on Celebration Point Avenue, again, open to the public, live entertainment throughout the week, and then the award ceremonies on the promenade every day. So,
well, we will be pushing out information on this, and thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Yeah. It's always a pleasure.